3 men vanished, leaving a dinner half-eaten and a mystery unsolved for over a century. The Flannan Isles, a cluster of remote, windswept rocks in the Outer Hebrides of Scotland, are beautiful but brutal. On one of these, Moor, a lighthouse stood as a beacon of safety against the treacherous North Atlantic. But in December of 1900, the light itself became a silent witness to an impossible disappearance. For 2 weeks, the lighthouse on Moor had been operating as usual, its powerful beam cutting through the Scottish gales. 3 experienced keepers, Thomas Marshall, James Juket, and Donald MacArthur, were stationed there, a standard rotation for such isolated posts. Yet, as Christmas approached, an unsettling silence began to settle over the island. The first sign that something was amiss came on December 15th. The steamer Archdor, passing by on its way to Leith, noted that the light on Moor was out. This was highly unusual. Lighthouse keepers were meticulous, their duty paramount, especially in winter storms. The Archdor's captain reported the anomaly upon arrival. Bad weather, however, delayed any immediate investigation. For several more days, the light remained dark, a stark, worrying void in the unforgiving seascape. It wasn't until December 26th, Boxing Day, that the relief vessel Hesperus was finally able to reach Moor, carrying Joseph Moore, the replacement keeper. As Moore disembarked, an eerie quiet hung in the air. No flag flew from the flagpole, no provisions had been taken in from the landing platform, and most disturbingly, no one was there to greet him. The Hesperus sounded its horn repeatedly, but only the wind answered. Moore began his ascent to the lighthouse, a sense of dread growing with each step. The main gate was unlocked. The entrance door, too, stood ajar. Inside, the beds were unmade. A cold fire sat in the hearth. A meal was half-eaten on the table, indicating an abrupt departure. The clock had stopped. There was no sign of the keepers, not a single note, no farewell. It was as if they had simply vanished into thin air, leaving behind a perfectly preserved snapshot of their last moments, frozen in time. The logbook, however, offered a few cryptic entries. The last, dated December 15th, spoke of severe gales. One entry, supposedly by Thomas Marshall, mentioned Jukat being very quiet and MacArthur crying. This was highly uncharacteristic of seasoned lighthouse keepers. Another entry spoke of God being over all. The final entry, also on December 15th, stated, "Storm ended, sea calm. God is over all." This seemed to contradict the earlier accounts of severe weather and the distress of the men. But the logbook's veracity has been debated. Some believe the entries were made to cover up a mistake or even a more sinister event, rather than being an accurate reflection of the weather or the keeper's state of mind. We may never know for certain. The official investigation, led by Robert Muirhead, the Northern Lighthouse Board superintendent, concluded that the men had likely been swept away by an unusually large wave. Muirhead theorized that 2 keepers had gone to secure some equipment on the western landing during a storm. He suggested the 3rd keeper, MacArthur, seeing the impending danger, had run out to warn them and was subsequently also swept away. The lighthouse's west landing showed signs of recent damage, lending some credence to this theory. This explanation, while plausible, still leaves many questions unanswered. Why were all 3 men outside during a dangerous storm? Lighthouse protocol dictated that at least one keeper should always remain inside, tending the light. The location of the storm damage was also problematic. The western landing was over 100 feet above sea level. It would take a truly extraordinary wave to reach and sweep away 3 men from that height. Alternative theories began to emerge, each more intriguing than the last. One popular idea suggested a rogue wave, a phenomenon now known to exist, capable of reaching immense heights and causing catastrophic damage without warning. Another theory, more dramatic, involved foul play. Perhaps a passing ship had attempted to land illegally, leading to a confrontation that escalated into violence. The remote location would have made it an ideal spot for smugglers. Yet there was no evidence of a struggle, no blood, no signs of forced entry, and nothing of value was taken. This makes the foul play theory less convincing, though the allure of a human villain is often strong in such mysteries. Supernatural explanations also gained traction. Some whispered of sea serpents, giant birds, or even vengeful spirits of the ancient Celtic gods, angered by the lighthouse's intrusion on their territory. The isolated, wild nature of the Flannan Isles certainly lends itself to such tales. Then there was the psychological angle. Could one of the keepers have suffered a breakdown, attacking the others before taking his own life by leaping into the sea? The isolation of lighthouse duty was known to take a toll on mental health. The cryptic logbook entries, if authentic, could be interpreted as signs of extreme stress or paranoia among the crew. But without bodies or any definitive evidence, this remains pure speculation. The disappearance of the Flannan Isle keepers has inspired countless stories, poems, and even a modern film. It's a tale that captures the imagination, a perfect storm of isolation, mystery, and the raw power of nature. Ultimately, the case remains unsolved, a haunting question mark against the stark beauty of the Scottish coast. The lighthouse continues to stand, automated since 1971, its beam still sweeping the dark waters, a silent monument to its vanished keepers. Perhaps the truth lies buried deep beneath the waves, or carried away on the relentless winds of the Atlantic. The Flannan Isle mystery reminds us that some secrets are simply not meant to be found. What other historical disappearances keep you up at night?